Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. My name is Sabrina Gosnell, and I'm the Operations Manager for UC2B Not-for-Profit. We are overjoyed today to be able to share with you an exciting announcement about the expansion of the UC2B fiber-optic broadband network. With us today are several speakers. We have Brandon Bowersox-Johnson, UC2B Not-for-Profit Board Chair. We have Keith Hoagland, the President of ITV3. We have Levi Dinkla, Vice President of ITV3. We have City of Champaign Mayor Don Gerard, City of Urbana Mayor Laurel Pressing, Paul Hickson, Chief Information Officer for the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and Blair Levin, Executive Director of GigU, and also led the FCC team who authored the National Broadband Plan. After the presentations, I'll step back to the podium for a moment, and then after that, we invite you to stick around for an informal meet and greet to help us welcome some new faces to the community. With that, I turn it over to Brandon Bowersox-Johnson.
Thank you all. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming. And thank you to the Research Park for having us here at Enterprise Works. It's wonderful to be here in this innovative space with so many inventions and great things, and hopefully they will all be gigabit supercharged here in our community very soon. So since its inception, UC2B has transformed our community with world-class fiber-optic internet. And today, Champaign-Urbana takes a huge step forward. Starting in 2012, with the adoption of community principles for expanding UC2B, we have been seeking a private partner to operate and expand this network. And today, we are thrilled to announce a partnership with ITV3. They are an Illinois company. They are part of Family Video. And Family Video, as you probably know, is the nation's largest chain of video and game rental stores, including with stores right here in our own community. And they will begin operating and expanding the fiber optic internet service here and offering gigabit service to Champaign-Urbana neighborhoods. Our board tirelessly sought the best private partner to help us grow and expand this network, which started as a public project. And we selected ITV3 because their values really fit our values. The ways that they operate and the ways that they have agreed to expand this network align with this community's principles, and their customer service values will be such a benefit to the people of our community. I know that we will be in good hands, and Keith and Levi and all of the ITV3 and Family Video team, welcome to this community. We're so glad to have you here in a new way with gigabit internet service. ITV3 will take over operations of the UC2B network, but also expand into new gigabit neighborhoods. And they will build fiber optic internet at gigabit speeds in our community, where every neighborhood will have an equal chance to get this service. Sign-ups begin today, and anyone in Champaign-Urbana can go online and say that they want this, and the neighborhoods that have the most sign-ups will get service first when construction begins later this year. Yeah. No other companies agree to give every neighborhood an equal chance in this and to let every neighborhood speak for themselves and say, we want this, let's go sign up and let's bring gigabit internet to our neighborhood and our community. So it's wonderful that in that way they have met our community's values to give everyone an equal chance, and the sign-ups start today. This will make Champaign-Urbana one of the few places in the whole country with gigabit internet, and I am so excited to see how this will supercharge our research, our education, our healthcare, home-based businesses, or entrepreneurs and larger companies, and supercharge every part of the community. So join me in welcoming ITV3 and Family Video here, and next we'll turn it over to Keith Hoagland, who is the president of the company and can speak about the amazing history of Family Video and the amazing future of Family Video and ITV3.
We're 1 for 2. It's Hoagland, so got it right, got it wrong. Yeah, it's Keith Hoagland. I'm president of Family Video, ITV3, a few other companies, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about our company and how we got started, and maybe how we ended up here in Champaign. All right, so I'm going to be very brief, obviously, but we're a family-owned private company. My grandfather started our business back in 1946 in Springfield, Illinois. It was a wholesale business. My father opened what we arguably say was the very first rental video chat store in the country in 1978. And then I've been running the company since 1995. And have grown it into, we have 4 different companies. We have Family Video, we have Legacy Properties, which is our real estate division. We have Hoagland Foods, which is the largest franchisee of Marco's Pizza, and we're expanding pretty rapidly. And of course, we have ITV3. So, we have 3 video stores here in Champaign, as was previously mentioned, I believe. And what we're going to use those for is to help expand ITV3. We're going to use that. The community is familiar with Family Video, and we've been here for over 25 years. And I think that people are going to be able to use Family Video as an information source and be able to come into our stores, and it's going to be a little bit different than every place else. Instead of being on the phone, on the internet, by email, by however else you're going to utilize, you're actually going to be able to walk into a bricks and mortar business and talk about fiber, which is pretty exciting. And so some of the, maybe some of the older generation that don't understand fiber are going to be able to be comfortable walking into Family Video that's been there for 20 years, and they'll get it, and they'll be talking to a real live human being in front of them. And so we think that that's going to make us a lot stronger and a lot better for Champaign, and a really good fit. So I think that's the most important thing. We started, how we got into this business, this fiber business, is a long story again. I'll cut to the chase. We started an ISP service, dial-up, back in the 90s, actually. It was cutting edge back then, and went to the wayside pretty fast, and we sold that to Earthlink, right? But during that time frame, what we realized, we were starting to get into the internet field and telecommunications, and we met a lot of people in this industry, and through that we ended up getting into the fiber business. And what we saw was this great potential for fiber to for the internet, for phone, and for television, and what it could do. And so that's how we got into the fiber business. And I would say that the fiber business we got into 2008 or 2009. So I think this is going to be a great partnership. We're very excited. I think that I've mentioned before, but being an Illinois-based family business, based in Springfield, Illinois, also in Glenview, Illinois, it's a very good fit. Okay, and I want to thank UC2B, the University of Illinois, cities of Champaign and Urbana, because this all took a lot of effort to get everybody together, and it's quite a partnership, and they did a great job in bringing us to the table. So I want you all to understand how difficult that was. And I look forward to bringing another one of our businesses to Champaign and the Urbana area, and bringing ITV3 and fiber to the home to Central Illinois. Thank you. He actually knows what he's talking about, so.
I don't know that I've ever been accused of that. My name is Levi Dinkley, I'm Vice President of ITV3, and I just want to kind of expand on Keith's thoughts there. When we got into the fiber business, we saw an opportunity, but it's a different type of opportunity. What we saw is that if we were to put fiber to the premise, fiber to the home and business in place, that we would have the very best technology to deliver cutting-edge, world-class bandwidth to communities. That wasn't the opportunity. That just, anybody else can go and put that in and compete and have the same product. Where we really saw the unique opportunity is when we looked at the fields of telecom and cable TV, what we saw were 2 industries that were plagued with horrible reputations for customer service. And we really had a vision. We thought if we could bring our version of customer service from the family video stores into the telecommunications industry, and provide this world-class technology to communities throughout Central Illinois, communities that traditionally wouldn't get this investment, and combine that with local customer service, that people would really, really respond to that. And we've been doing that so far in the Pekin and East Peoria and North markets and the Greater Peoria market now since 2009. We are very excited to bring that to Champaign and Urbana. We cannot express how grateful we are to the communities, to UC2B, the University of Illinois, for making this happen. However, we're not all the way there. We still need the community's help. As was mentioned before, the sign-up process that's going to take place over the next 90 to 100 days is going to determine where we're going to build. And this is where the community invests back in us. And so we've made possible a website. It's www.theperfectupgrade.com. where you can go and you can upgrade your services. You can sign up and you can register your neighborhood. We will very soon have maps available that will show you exactly how many people, where your neighborhood is. We're going to divide the community into groups of 150 to 350 homes and businesses. And you'll be able to go and check and see and drive those numbers so that your neighborhood gets this service. So I would encourage everybody to check out www.theperfectupgrade.com. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, thank you so much. We look forward to being a part of this for a long time to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Levi. Next, we'll hear from Mayor Don Gerard.
It's truly an honor to be here today. In the United States today, you see a lot of cities, we see them struggle, we see them failing, and we see a number of cities doing quite well. Cities like Kansas City, Chattanooga, Austin, Texas are places you hear over and over again. And to me, this means the American dream is working. It means that there's opportunities for everybody. I think opportunities occur when local municipal government works with the private sector and the community, the people, the public we serve, to create opportunities. Today, this is not a good thing. This is a generationally transformational, amazing thing. In the city of Champaign, we are blessed to have fertile economic ground for entrepreneurs, innovators, both big and small. We have an amazing music, culture, arts. By providing this tool, by making it available to everybody, the sky is the limit for the city of Champaign. I cannot stress enough how this is the perfect example of us moving forward together to be one of the premier cities in the United States. Austin, Chattanooga, Kansas City. I've been to Chattanooga and I've seen what it can do. We've been to New York. Councilmember Finan and I were out at the Ford Foundation talking about what fiber can mean, what opportunities it can present, and how it can change lives on every level. I've been to the US Ignite conference representing Champaign at the White House, where the same thing, whether we're talking about opportunities for healthcare, whether we're talking about opportunities for small home businesses, artists, musicians, anybody, everyone will benefit from this, and will benefit in that the playing field has been leveled. We can afford it to everybody. We are not having a big corporation come in and cherry pick where they're going to make the most profits. We're bringing in a company that is going to make this opportunity available to everybody, and very quickly. I myself will be signing up as I might just check in right now during while Laurel's talking. Sign up, and I will have a clipboard, and I will be out in my neighborhood, and I'll be encouraging all my neighbors and telling them that this is an opportunity, and we will all be better for it, and we cannot let this go. As I stated, we could not be more fortunate to have had the hard work of the UC2B board, the cities of Champaign and Urbana, certainly the University of Illinois, and working with this private sector. We are truly blessed to have this opportunity, and I could not have been more excited and so happy to see you today. I would like to introduce now the Honorable Mayor Laurel Pressing of the City of Urbana to talk about her views on how this will benefit us.
Well, this is a great day for Urbana-Champaign Big Broadband. That's what UC2B stands for. And it really represents a great deal of cooperation. The cities of Urbana and Champaign have been cooperating for over 160 years. One of our great ideas was to bring the University of Illinois here. And that's worked out pretty well. And so this was a cooperation between the university and the cities. It wouldn't have happened if the federal government, the Obama administration, had not decided that this country was going to make a concerted effort to, catch up with the rest of the world, essentially. And it would not have happened without Mike Smeltzer at the University of Illinois seizing that opportunity and getting this whole thing going. So, thank you to Mike Smeltzer. He's the father of UC2B, and thank you, Mike, for putting you first. Anyway, I was thrilled to find out that Family Video was interested in doing this because they are an Illinois company and they have a reputation for customer service. And if the cable industry has a reputation for customer service, it's not very good. But their reputation is excellent. So I'm going to be out there organizing my neighborhood, and I urge all of us to sign up because this is a great idea. Let's tell them that we want the service, and let's organize and get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pressing. We'll now hear from University of Illinois CIO Paul Hickson.
Thanks, Sabrina. This is a great day. The University of Illinois has long had a history of innovation, particularly known for taking core research findings and taking them out into the world and changing the world. And that's precisely the sort of thinking that was behind the original application for the BTOP grant. And then the fiber optic build-out that was able to connect all the anchor institutions and 75 core businesses in our community. And from the beginning, the partnership between the cities and the university has been to use that fiber to build our community, to make us able to realize the dream of a fiber interconnected world. Another goal of ours from the very beginning has to make sure that no one got left out, that the digital divide was broken down, and that no one is left behind, and that economically disadvantaged populations without the means to make it otherwise would be able to make it in a digitally interconnected world. That got us through the initial BTOP build-out. But our next goal was always to find a private partner that was in sync with this community's values, to build out the fiber to premises to the entire community. And just as this project was blessed with great cooperation between the cities and the university at the first stage, as we now move into this community build-out phase, we are looking forward to a very positive and productive partnership between the UC2B not-for-profit board and the project's new ideal private partner, ITV3. So, like others have said, I can't wait to see what the Twin Cities do with this opportunity. It's going to be awesome.
And finally, we will hear from Blair Levin, the Executive Director of GigU and the leader of the team who authored the National Broadband Plan for the FCC.
It's a real pleasure to be here today. In fact, the word awesome has been used several times, and I want to echo that. I just want to take a brief moment to put what's happening here today in some kind of national perspective. America invented the internet. Indeed, you all could claim that the University of Illinois-Champaign, Urbana invented the internet with the original browser. But a few years ago, as we were writing the National Broadband Plan, the data was very clear. We were not leading in world-leading networks. And so we tried to figure out a way to kickstart the acceleration or the deployment of next-generation networks. Now, out of the discussions around that issue, the Google Fiber Initiative arose. And in the follow-up to that, a group of communities, including Champaign, Urbana, and Michael, who's been thanked before and really deserves the praise of everyone in this room, came together and formed GigU to try to accelerate the deployment of next-generation networks. Now, a lot's happened since then. Our country had a gigabit desert. We may, a year from now, have a little bit more of a gigabit garden. Google and AT&T are talking to dozens of communities. Cox Cable, which a year ago said in the Wall Street Journal they would never offer a gig because it would cost billions and billions, announced a couple weeks ago that they'd be doing a gig throughout their whole territory, though interestingly they're only starting in communities where Google or CenturyLink has already announced that they're doing something. Time Warner, which said a year ago in the same article that nobody wants higher speeds, just announced they're tripling their speeds. But interestingly, only in those communities where Google is already located. Competition really does work. But look, I admire those companies, and I don't want to be cynical about what they're doing. But the important point that I want to make is that's a limited number of communities. Most people live in communities that did not win the Google lottery. And if you didn't win the Google lottery, you probably don't have AT&T coming your way, you probably don't have Cox is interested, etc. And so for communities that don't fit Google's parameters, but want to attract the kind of network that will allow them to lead, has been talked about in the global information-based economy that really rides on fast broadband. What should such a community, and those communities constitute a majority of Americans, what should such a community do? Well, today we have an answer. Let them come to Champaign, Urbana. Let them take a look at what you're doing. The public-private partnership that you've created here is unique and cutting edge, but the framework and ideas can be used everywhere. You're ahead of everybody else, and you will benefit from that leadership, but everybody will benefit from the map that you are making here today. So you deserve praise, not just for what you've done for new generations of Mark Andreessens or Max Levkins, who came to get an education here and built some of the fundamental tools of the internet. You also deserve praise for a new generation, what a new generation throughout this country will do with unlimited bandwidth, just as your alumni did with unlimited computing power. And for that, you deserve the thanks of the entire country. Thank you very much.
Thank you all again. There are a lot of people in this room, and I would like to ask if you've ever worked on UC2B, officially or unofficially, in any capacity. I'd like for you to raise your hand. We owe a great many thanks to canvassers, colleagues, contractors. We couldn't have done this without the UC2B Not-for-Profit Board, the City of Champaign City Council, the City of Urbana City Council, and the policy and technical committees of UC2B. So many of you here in this room and others who couldn't be present today have contributed to this effort. This has been truly a group effort, and we are so thankful and so grateful that you are all here with us to celebrate as we move into the next phase of UC2B and this partnership that we think will truly be ideal for our community. Thank you all.
I'll say one more thing. I think Sabrina forgot to raise her own hand when she was just asking. There's two people I specifically want to thank, and one is Sabrina Gosnell, who started as a city employee and has since become the chief staff person and learned how to run an ISP, as this started as a public project and now grows into a wonderful public-private partnership. This would not have happened without Sabrina going completely above and beyond for this community because she believed in this project. So Sabrina, we all owe you a huge The second person I really want to thank is Joanne Hovis. For those of you who met her, she helped in 2009 along with Mike Smeltzer when this was just an idea and has shepherded this through so many stages and so many phases. She works for communities and she worked for our community as a consultant and a strategist about how to bring all the right people to the table to make these sort of partnerships happen. She couldn't join us today, but she works with CTC Technology and Energy, and if you ever get a chance to work with Joanne Hovis or thank her, she, as well as people like Sabrina and Mike Smeltzer, really deserve a huge amount of credit. Without them individually, this never could have happened, so thank you very much.
The same could be said for Brandon. So our intention is to have more of an informal Q&A as opposed to a really formal one. There are a lot of people here, so we invite you all to stick around with us. There are cookies, there's bottled water. Again, thank you all so much for coming out. Please help us welcome some new faces to our community.